If you're listening to this, chances are you've wondered about it. What's the actual difference between someone who earns a high income and someone who builds truly massive generational wealth?
Hmm.
We're talking about the millionaires, the billionaires.
Mm.
They don't just get lucky. It feels like they have a blueprint, a system.
It's absolutely a system. When you really analyze success at that level, you realize it's never about just one brilliant idea or a lucky stock pick.
Right.
It's about these entrenched, almost invisible systems that govern how they think, how they structure their assets, and crucially, how they protect them.
And that is exactly what we're diving into today. We've got our hands on material we're calling the Wealth Blueprint. It's a compilation of these proven strategies, the habits, the systems.
All used to create, grow, and then protect these huge fortunes.
It's basically like a shortcut to understanding the financial operating manual of the super successful.
I think so. The material promises a real distillation of knowledge. We're talking step-by-step frameworks that can transform not just your bank account, but your whole financial mindset.
So it's about replacing conventional thinking.
Exactly. Replacing it with the systematic approach that the ultra-wealthy use day in and day out.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Our mission here is to filter out all the noise and just extract the absolute core nuggets from this blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
We want to identify the foundational systems they rely on so you can understand the mechanics and, maybe apply them today, no matter where you're starting from.
We're looking for that strategic roadmap.
The proven one,
Mm.
the one to help you think richer, earn smarter, and build lasting wealth.
So where do we start?
Let's start at the absolute ground floor, because the material makes it crystal clear that all the tactics, the investments, they're basically irrelevant unless the foundation is solid.
Right.
And the first big point is maybe the most abstract, but also the most critical. It's these, quote, distinct mindset differences that separate the wealthy from everyone else.
This is the engine. I mean, if you think about it, the reason most people hit a ceiling isn't a lack of opportunity. It's a fear of what they perceive as risk.
A fear of risk, yeah.
Yeah.
How so? Because most of us are taught to minimize risk at all costs.
We are. But the wealthy, they don't see it as something to minimize. They see it as something to manage
Okay.
and to transfer. They operate on a decades-long time horizon, so short-term market swings, that's just noise.
It doesn't faze them.
Not at all. And they also shift from seeing capital as scarce to seeing it as, well, abundant and accessible, provided the opportunity itself is scalable and has a system.
That's a huge shift. So it's not, can I afford to lose this?
Yeah.
But more like,
It's more like, how quickly can I find more resources to scale this thing that's already working?
that makes the mental leap so clear.
Okay.
So once that mindset is in place, willing to manage risk, thinking long term, the blueprint immediately pivots to tactics.
Yes, to the starting point.
It defines the 5 proven paths the wealthy use to build massive wealth.
And what's so fascinating is how specific it is. It's not vague advice. It identifies 5 very distinct high-leverage lanes.
So it takes the guesswork out of where to even start.
Completely. These aren't the only ways, of course, but they are the proven models that reliably produce that level of wealth.
Okay, so we have to get into these. What are these 5 high leverage lanes? Because this feels like the missing piece in a lot of these conversations.
Well, according to the blueprint, they're all defined by 2 things we already mentioned: scalability and leverage.
Getting away from trading time for dollars.
Exactly that. So the first one is scalable technology or IP entrepreneurship.
Okay, so like creating a product or service you can sell all over the world with very little extra cost per sale.
You got it. The second is specialized high-margin professional services. Think boutique consulting, high-end legal work where your expertise delivers massive value and you can charge for it.
Right.
Third is high-leverage real estate acquisition, and we're not talking about buying one rental property.
No.
This is about systematically acquiring and managing huge portfolios, using sophisticated debt and professional teams.
Okay, what's number 4?
Strategic acquisitions and buyouts. Basically, private equity. Buying existing cash-flowing companies, making them better, and then selling them.
Right. Refining their systems for more profit. And the 5th?
Mastering capital markets. So becoming a highly skilled fund manager or proprietary trader where you're leveraging other people's money to generate those exponential returns.
So the blueprint is essentially saying, adopt this risk-managed long-term mindset, then pick one of these 5 lanes that's built for scale.
That's the formula. It establishes that building this kind of wealth isn't random. It's about following a very specific systemized plan from day one.
So now we shift from the what the path to the how. How do you accelerate progress once you're on one of those paths?
Yeah.
And that brings us to leverage.
The great accelerator. Leverage is what lets you break free from the 24 hours in a day problem. The blueprint says the wealthy master leveraging 4 specific resources for what it calls exponential results.
And if you're only using one, like money, you're leaving most of the power on the table.
3/4 of the system, exactly.
Okay, let's list them and really dig into how they're used, because this is the practical stuff. The 4 are time, skills, money, and networks.
Absolutely. So leveraging time. That's about automating, delegating, hiring. It's deciding your time is too valuable to spend on anything below a certain dollar per hour return,
Even if you have to pay someone else to do it.
especially then. Then leveraging skills is about hiring people who are way, way better than you at critical functions like complex tax law, instead of trying to learn it all yourself.
Okay, and leveraging money is the one most people think they understand, but even there it's different, isn't it?
It's totally different. It's not just taking out a loan. It's about securing capital, often debt, but very carefully structured, to buy assets that will appreciate faster than the cost of that capital.
The risk is managed by the asset itself.
And the legal structure, yes. But the most important one, the one that runs through all 5 of those paths we mentioned, is leveraging networks.
Relational capital. How does that create exponential results?
Your network gives you access to things the public never sees. Private deals, pre-IPO opportunities, non-public information.
It's not just who you know.
It's what they know and what doors they can open for you. That's the real shift from being a hardworking, high-income earner to a wealth builder who systemizes opportunity.
Okay, so moving beyond just leverage, the blueprint then details the operational side. Specifically, how rich people structure their income and finances for long-term success. This isn't just budgeting, is it?
Oh, not at all. This is about building a financial fortress.
A fortress.
It's a systemic approach. It's designed to mitigate risk, minimize taxes legally, and ensure the whole thing lasts. We're talking about complex legal structures, trusts, holding companies, private foundations.
Separating personal wealth from business risk.
Precisely. And it's about smart capital allocation. Every dollar has a job before it even comes in. Growth, preservation, or consumption. And consumption is almost always last on the list.
And tied right into that structure are the investment strategies of high net worth individuals. How do those strategies differ from what the rest of us see on the news?
The main differences are access and patience. They are not chasing the highest possible immediate returns.
Because it's all part of that bigger protective structure.
Exactly. They prioritize tax advantage vehicles. They focus heavily on alternative assets like private equity and hedge funds that we can't access. And they use those investments for long-term capital appreciation.
So they can afford to have their money tied up for longer.
Right, because their lifestyle is covered by cash flow from other structured assets. Their investments are all about that long-term security strategy, not just hitting a high number this quarter.
This is where it gets really interesting, I think, especially for anyone trying to scale a career or a business. Section 3 is all about the growth engines, the things that take wealth from just large to massive.
And right at the center of that is the concept of scalable businesses.
Yeah.
Scalability is, it's the non-negotiable prerequisite. If your income can't grow without you physically being more involved, there's always going to be a ceiling.
So how does the blueprint define a scalable business?
As a system designed to replicate success through documented processes, technology, and leveraged labor, not just the founder's own time and effort.
Well, let's use an example to really make that stick.
Yeah.
Why is scalability so essential for building massive wealth versus just a simple high income?
Think about a highly paid surgeon. Amazing income, right?
Yeah.
But that income is capped. It's capped by the number of surgeries they can personally perform. That's linear.
Right. Time for money.
The wealthy individual, though, is the one who took the surgeon's system, the intellectual property, and turned it into a profitable, repeatable network of surgical centers that doesn't depend on any one person.
They leverage the skills and time of others.
Through a scalable, systematized structure, yes.
But to make that jump, you need external trust. You need influence. And that leads right into the next part. The power of personal branding and elite networking.
Exactly. You can have the best system in the world, but if nobody trusts you or even knows about it, you can't get the capital you need to grow.
So personal branding here isn't about ego.
Not at all. In this context, it's the systematic control of the story around your expertise. It's about building authority.
And that authority is what gets you into the right rooms.
It's the fuel for elite networking. Remember we said leveraging networks was one of the 4 key leverage points?
Yeah.
Well, personal branding and elite networking are how you activate that leverage. They get you access to the 8-figure investments, the key partners, the big opportunities you need to go from local success to systemic, massive wealth.
You have to be in the room to even hear about the deals that create that kind of fortune.
You do.
So this section really covers the amplifiers, the systemic business design, and the external reach you get through reputation and connections. That's what creates that nonlinear growth we've been talking about.
That's it.
Okay, so we've covered creating wealth and growing it. Now we hit the final and maybe the most defining stage, permanence. The blueprint talks about how the rich preserve wealth across generations.
And this is the ultimate long game. It's a total psychological and strategic reversal.
How so?
Building wealth is an aggressive, offensive strategy. You're managing risk, but you're taking it. Preserving wealth is a defensive, structural strategy. The priority shifts from maximizing returns to asset protection and durability.
The focus is now on legacy.
Entirely.
And this is so critical because it shows the blueprint covers the full cycle. You hear stories all the time about how people make money, but not how they stop their kids or grandkids from losing it all.
That's the key. Preservation means setting up irrevocable trusts, establishing family offices to manage everything from investments to security, and creating educational frameworks so the next generation are competent stewards of that capital.
You're building walls around the wealth.
You are. And this connects right back to those foundational structures we talked about earlier. Preservation isn't some afterthought you deal with in retirement.
Right.
It's baked into the system from the very beginning. Every single decision is filtered through the lens of long-term tax efficiency and protection from future crises, lawsuits, whatever it might be.
So wealth isn't a destination.
Yeah.
It's a living system.
It's a functioning, self-sustaining system that needs constant expert management. That's what the wealthy rely on and what this material lays out.
Okay, so let's quickly summarize the core takeaways for you, the learner. The blueprint lays out a clear path.
It starts with transforming your mindset around risk and time. Then you have to identify and commit to one of those 5 proven scalable paths to get out of the linear income trap.
And once you're on that path, you have to master leverage time, skills, money, and networks all at once. You have to realize that massive wealth comes from scaling systems, not just your own hours.
All supported by that personal brand and elite network to fuel the expansion.
And finally, realizing that the ultimate goal isn't just maximum profit today, but long-term security and preservation for generations. The source material really implies that if you adopt these models, you're ready to think richer and earn smarter.
So what does this all mean for you? We've talked a lot about the systems used to create and grow fortune strategies that are, aggressive, dynamic, focused on exponential returns. But here's a thought to chew on, building on that idea of preservation. If the ultimate goal isn't just building wealth, but protecting it across generations, what fundamental shift has to happen once the money is made, when the focus shifts from offense to defense? Specifically, how do your investment strategies have to change when the goal is no longer risk-managed growth, but shifts entirely to risk-averse preservation? That is something worth mulling over as you look at your own long-term financial goals.
Something to chew on indeed. Thanks for diving deep with us.